Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you are so excited for science today and tomorrow because we're doing some really cool things. So I am in our Exploring Sound book, and I'm on the page that says, let's make a kazoo. Oh, my wrist is sweaty from this thing. All right, so for our materials, you're going to need, you can't see it, a toilet paper roll. If you don't have a toilet paper roll, you can use a paper towel roll. It will make a different sound unless you cut the paper towel roll a little bit smaller, okay? I don't have rubber bands. I never use rubber bands, but I do have hair ties. So I have a hair tie instead of a rubber band. You need a small little square of tin foil, which feels really weird to cut, with scissors, and a small piece of wax paper. And we also need a sharp pencil to poke a hole. All right, so what I'm going to do with you today is we're going to build the kazoo, and then you're going to practice playing the kazoo, and what you're turning in is this reflection page, okay? And we'll talk about this in just a second. First, let's build our kazoo, and I'm super excited. So, reading the directions. Point your finger with me because we're practicing pointing to each word when we read it. And I want you to read with me, okay? With a sharp pencil, poke a hole an inch or two down on the paper roll. Okay, well, they're not calling it a... So, can you see? Here's my end of my roll. I'm just going to go down a little, okay? And we want to poke a hole through here. You might, their hole looks pretty big. All right. Okay. So we poked a hole. Be sure not to poke your fingers, okay? My fingers are not so focused, apparently. I had an issue yesterday during a reading group. Okay. So we have a hole. Place the wax paper over the end of the roll. And I see, looking at the picture, that the end is closest to the hole. So I'm going to take my wax paper. We do want to make sure that we don't put the rubber band over the hole, though. Okay? And if your rubber band is too big, you might have to loop it. You might need an extra set of hands to help you hold while you loop. All right. Let me just pull my wax paper back down so it's tight. Okay. So now I want to make sure that my hole's not covered, and mine is covered. So I'm just going to kind of lift my wax paper up over it, so that way my hole's not covered. Okay. Wrap a rubber band tightly over the wax paper and around the tube to hold it down. Do not cover the hole with the paper. All right, we did that. Play hum or say la into the end of the kazoo. Sing a song or hum a tune. So your mouth is going to go on the open side, and you're going to put it to your lips, and you can say la or hum. There we go. So how I got it to work was you really gotta push your lips, don't put your lips over the outside, put your lips inside the hole, and make sure that you close off so there's no air between your lips and the edge of the roll, and then okay. Down here, there's an experiment. Touch the wax paper with your finger while you're playing the kazoo. So if you just lightly put your hand on or put your finger on the wax paper, that tickles. Cover the hole with your finger while you're playing. So put your finger over the hole. The wax paper shot off of mine. Hold on 1 second. What happened when you put your finger over the hole? Oh Oh my goodness. Okay, and then try putting the foil over your tube and playing. So now that my wax paper shut off, let's try it again with tin foil. Remember, you're putting tin foil over the end closest to the hole, and we can always uncover it if we cover it up the first time. I'm going to try doing this with a rubber band first, okay? So I'm going to take it, I'm going to twist it. So my rubber band is already, my hair tie, is already doubled. And I'm going to take my fingers and it's not very stretchy when it's doubled. Alright, and put it over the end. That's okay if it's a little crinkly. But I do have to find my hole. Oh, perfect. My hole is uncovered. I'm going to uncover it just a little bit better. I wonder what the difference in sound would be also if our hole were bigger or smaller. Maybe that's something that you could try. Try putting the foil on your kazoo. So let's try playing it this way, and then we'll poke tiny holes in on the end, in the paper on the end. I was like, what? All right, ready? It's kind of quieter. I didn't expect it to be quieter, or at least mine is. All right, so here's my end, and I'm gonna poke tiny holes. This, by the way, unless mine sounds differently than yours, is nothing like a real kazoo sounds. A real kazoo, not that I remember anyways. I should buy one, so that way we can see what a real kazoo sounds like. Or just so that way I remember, because I really don't remember it sounding like this. All right, I'm going to try it with the holes poked in the end. It doesn't change. It's still vibrating, but I don't think that the tiny holes on the end change for me. Maybe you can but play around and see how you can get the best sound, maybe how you can get a different sound. Maybe I wouldn't recommend putting your mouth over it because it's going to get wet and gross. I wouldn't think that you would have to put your mouth over it, but do some different tests and different experiments with it. And then the page that you're turning in is the reflection page. So what do you observe when you are humming into the kazoo? Remember, we're trying to answer in complete sentences. So your sentence for this one is maybe going to say, I notice, and then whatever you notice. Okay, and then you're going to end with a period. What happens if you cover the hole while you are humming into the kazoo? Well, for my wax paper, it shot off the end and over my desk. What was the difference between the wax paper and the foil? You could say, I think, or the difference was, or the wax paper was, the tin foil was. What happened when you poked holes? Oh, poked holes in the wax paper. That'll be curious. Try that one. Put the wax paper on the end and poke holes in it. Let's try real quick. How much time do I have? I still have a little bit of time. I only have so long on recordings, and then it cuts me off. And I like to try to get all of my recordings done in one. I don't like to make 2 videos, but sometimes I talk too much. This is really hard. The tin foil, or not the tin foil, the, good grief. The wax paper does not like to go on here for me. Okay, so you try. I'll try afterwards because I'm having troubles. But you try poking holes in the end of your wax paper, just like we did with the tin foil. I'll just hold it and I'll show you. So just poke a couple of tiny holes. I don't know if I could hold it tight enough. Where's the hole at? All right, let's try. I guess it changes a little bit. Right, so what did you notice when you poked holes in the wax paper? Or maybe you noticed something when you poked holes in the tinfoil. Okay, this is the page that you're turning in. I don't need this page because we built our kazoo. Okay, and I hope that you guys have fun. I hope that you have fun with your kazoo, your musical instrument. You can practice learning songs with it, maybe, or singing songs into it. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope that you have fun, and I hope that you have a good day.